It was all my fault, David. I'm so sorry.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we'll be counting down our picks for the top 30 on-screen couples from film and TV who, despite their performances, hated each other in real life.
Oh, I don't like this one bit.
Well, I can't stop now.
Number 30.
Humphrey Bogart and Audrey Hepburn. Sabrina.
Let's drink to that.
The filming of Sabrina was rife with personal drama and stirring romanticism. Audrey Hepburn and William Holden had a short but well-known affair during filming, although Audrey quickly called it off after learning that William had had a vasectomy and could not have children. Meanwhile, Humphrey Bogart wanted his wife Lauren Bacall to play the titular Sabrina, and was therefore quite hostile towards Hepburn, as she'd stolen his wife's spotlight.
Can I find myself someone really nice? That's not so easy, Sabrina.
He also complained about what he believed to be her general inexperience and criticized her acting ability, saying she often had to do too many takes. The joke's on him. Audrey ended up being nominated for an Oscar, while he was left cranky and perturbed.
It's all in the family.
Number 29. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson, 50 Shades of Grey.
Why do you need to?
Because it's the way I am.
Let's get this out of the way first. Jamie Dornan and Dakota Johnson do not hate each other, and they get along well enough now. But there was a time when things seemed a little awkward between the two of them.
I think we were kind of forced into being best friends.
I couldn't have said it nicer myself.
Fans continuously pointed out their palpable lack of chemistry on press tours, and many websites singled out their uncomfortable presence at the 2017 Oscars. Director James Foley also claims that they didn't fully bond until the first movie's press tour, so things were clearly a little off while filming 50 Shades of Grey. We can't say that we blame them for the reported awkwardness, though. Filming that kind of movie must be very difficult.
Number 28. Mila Kunis and Ashton Kutcher, That 70s Show.
I am in love with a doofus.
Despite their 2015 marriage, a longtime friend of Kutcher told Radar Online that, quote, everyone shakes their head over the romance.
Will you still love me when I'm bald?
You could wear a wig.
According to the source, the two were, quote, absolutely not friends during filming, and that, quote, they couldn't stand working together. We don't know how credible this source is, but their words are backed up by Mila Kunis herself.
Michael, now I know I can honestly trust you with all my heart.
She told Glamour once that she thought Ashton was crazy and that she started to hate him once he became famous. Apparently, he thought he was all that. She also said that they had, quote, full friendship breakups on numerous occasions, signifying that their time together may not have been all sunshine and rainbows.
Look, just say you miss me.
Fine, I miss you!
Michael, I miss you too.
Whatever the case, Kutcher now considers himself the luckiest man alive in regards to their relationship, so things are unquestionably going great. Number 27. Harrison Ford and Sean Young, Blade Runner.
Must be expensive.
Very. I'm Rachel.
Deckard.
Rachel was one of Sean Young's first movie roles, and what an introduction it was. Not only was she in one of the best science fiction films ever, although it wasn't considered that at the time, she got to work with none other than the brilliant and charismatic Harrison Ford. Only she didn't really like him.
You think I'm a replicant, don't you?
Rumors have long persisted that the two did not get along while filming Blade Runner. In the scene where Deckard stops Rachel from leaving his apartment, Ford reportedly pushed Young quite roughly, causing her to get upset and irritated with him. Their love scene was also allegedly dubbed the hate scene by the production crew because the two despised filming such a passionate sequence with each other.
I want you. I want you.
Number 26. Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale, Vacancy.
Hey, at least you're dreaming about me, right? That's kind of an improvement.
Back in 2007, Luke Wilson and Kate Beckinsale starred in a thriller called Vacancy. It followed a combative couple who were teetering on the edge of divorce as they're stalked and harassed at a creepy motel. Kate and Luke didn't need to do too much acting to portray an antagonistic couple, because on-set sources claimed that they did not get along.
I guess it could be worse, you know.
We could be stuck in that twin bed at your folks' house trying to pretend like we're a happy couple.
The sources allege that Luke frequently did not show up to work on time and or was hungover. In fact, he was supposedly outwardly rude and awful to Kate. Things apparently got so bad between them that Kate refused to act with him, instead sending out a picture with a note that said, "Read your lines to this. It will be better for both of us."
Why didn't you just stay on the interstate?
I don't know.
Number 25, Julie McCullough and Kirk Cameron, Growing Pains.
Dearly beloved.
I do.
While young Kirk Cameron was raised an atheist, he converted to Christianity when he was 17. This caused frustration on the set of Growing Pains, as he caused trouble with his co-stars and insisted that the writers remove any semblance of inappropriate content.
Gee, what was that for?
I just want you to know that I cannot imagine spending another day of my life without you.
However, it was Julie McCullough who faced the brunt of his criticism. Julie had previously posed for Playboy, and Kirk objected to this.
You were so sweet and so dependable and so sexy.
The story goes that Kirk accused the producers of promoting adult entertainment and ordered Julie to be fired. And although Kirk claims that he never called for her termination, he and Julie remain distant and are not on speaking terms.
Mike, I'm sorry. I wished I could be more like you, but I'm not. So take care of yourself.
Whatever happened, it seems their growing pains were too much to bear. Number 24, Richard Baer and Natalie Wood, West Side Story.
Maria? Shh. Maria!
Quiet.
West Side Story is a beautiful love tale, a kind of Romeo and Juliet for a new generation. Except that it turns out that the actress who plays the Juliet-like role, Natalie Wood, really didn't like the actor who played the Romeo-like role, Richard Baer. Rumor has it that Natalie kept a shit list on her dressing room wall with the names of people she despised. And guess who was on the very top of that list? If you guessed Richard Baer, then you get 10 points.
Maria, I've just met a girl named Maria.
Russ Tamblyn even asked Natalie why Richard was on the list, and she simply said, "I just don't like him." Word has it that Richard didn't even know about this list until Russ told him about it while they were filming Twin Peaks almost 30 years later.
It's all right. She likes us.
Number 23, Jay Moore and Jennifer Aniston, Picture Perfect.
Sorry, I didn't know we were on the clock
Okay,
yet.
just shush, grab my ass, kiss my neck, and pull me into the office, okay?
Jay Moore is not shy about airing his dirty laundry. During an interview with Elle magazine, Jay called working with Jennifer his most awkward interaction with a female celebrity. While he didn't 100% confirm it was her, all signs point to Aniston being the female celeb in question.
I suddenly realized I haven't told you how beautiful you look tonight.
She apparently made it abundantly clear that she was not happy with his casting, as many more notable and famous actors had been screen tested for the role. Her behavior was allegedly so antagonistic that Jay would go to his mother's house and cry. In another interview with ESPN, he said that a bag of Doritos would last longer than a movie starring a Friends cast member.
So how do you think it's going?
Fine, I guess.
Number 22, Joan Collins and John Forsythe, Dynasty. Joan and John played divorced couple Alexis and Blake Carrington on the popular soap opera Dynasty.
I know that this used to be your house, but it isn't now. I'd appreciate you having yourself announced next time you barge in here.
While the two were split, their personal drama helped Dynasty become one of the biggest soap operas of the 80s. And it looks like Alexis and Blake's toxic relationship was just as hostile as Joan and John's. Joan has admitted that John didn't like her very much and has called him, quote, misogynistic and a bit sexist.
I didn't start that fire, Blake.
You did start a barrage of character assassination, nearly ended in murder. Well, this time, it might end in murder.
She also states that John lambasted her for demanding equal pay, and she was allegedly called a, quote, diva and a bitch.
I am going to kill you.
However, there seems to be no hard feelings, as Joan honored John upon his death, calling him, quote, one of the last true gentlemen of the acting profession.
Take your hands off me.
I want to talk to you right now.
I told you I was busy. Now will you take your hands off me?
Number 21, Mickey Rourke and Kim Basinger, 9.5 Weeks.
It's beautiful. I love it.
9.5 Weeks is a controversial movie, as it involves touchy themes like sexual domination and sadomasochism. The filming was allegedly just as controversial, as Basinger was reportedly treated like absolute garbage on set. According to a piece in the New York Times, director Adrian Lyne would often manipulate Basinger's emotions and push her too far, so the crew began to grow concerned.
Because you see, I can't get excited. I can't get excited unless I see you get on your hands and your knees and crawl across the floor.
The article also reveals that Mickey Rourke remained distant from Basinger and even helped Lyne abuse her. This included grabbing her arm, refusing to let go despite Kim's cries and shouts, and even slapping her in the face when she fought back. The sadistic treatment eventually had a negative impact on Kim's marriage, as she remained emotionally distant from her husband for an entire year.
I almost waited too long.
Number 20, Walter Matthau and Barbara Streisand, Hello Dolly.
If you're thinking of getting married, you might as well learn right now that you have to let women be women.
Hello Dolly had a very troublesome production, and one of its main issues was the truly bitter relationship between stars Barbara Streisand and Walter Matthau. Walter quickly grew irritated at the much younger Barbara's insistence at shooting multiple takes, and it wasn't long before he couldn't even stand in the same room as the budding star. He also referred to Barbara as an incompetent actress and a freak attraction like a boa constrictor.
Dolly Levi, you are a damned exasperating woman.
Why, Horace Vandergelder, that is the nicest thing you have ever said.
Walter even refused to kiss her, forcing the production crew to work some movie magic for their on-screen kiss. Barbara hated Walter in turn, referring to him as Old Sewer Mouth. Maybe that's why they refused to kiss.
All I wanted to say was, goodbye!
Number 19, Heidi Swedberg and Jason Alexander, Seinfeld. Susan's untimely death from licking toxic glue is one of the most iconic moments of Seinfeld. It showcases the gang's heartless and selfish mentality in the most upfront and brutal way possible, rivaling that of Game of Thrones.
She's, gone. Dead?
But her death was swift because her exit from the show was swift. While no one hated Heidi, Jason had issues with her comedic style and called her difficult to work with.
Oh, no. George, that's so ugly. We don't want that.
What's the difference? You just read it and mail it right back.
No one really believed him until Jerry Seinfeld and Julia Louis-Dreyfus worked with her on season 7, and they quickly agreed with Jason. While Heidi was written off as a result, Jason still vouches for her, calling her a, quote, kind and lovely person.
Since when do you smoke?
I've always smoked.
Number 18, Dustin Hoffman and Meryl Streep, Kramer vs. Kramer.
Ted, I'm leaving you.
Yeah, there's no sugarcoating it. Reports say that Dustin Hoffman acted like a straight-up jerk towards Meryl Streep during this film's production. And it all started with a slap. Yep, a literal slap. Streep told the New York Times, quote, "It was my first take in my first movie, and he just slapped me. It was overstepping." That wasn't the only time he allegedly abused her during this time. She also claims that he groped her breast on one occasion, threw a wine glass against a wall near her head, raised his voice, and criticized her.
A lot of things I'd do different if I could. Just like I think there's a lot of things you wish you could change, but we can't.
While she's since forgiven the inappropriate touching, it's clear that Streep has soldiered on from the past, as she's since become one of the most acclaimed actresses of all time.
Where are you going?
I don't know.
Number 17, Jason Lee and Shannon Doherty, Mallrats.
Did you knock it off?
God.
What?
She's garnered quite the reputation over the years and is often regarded as one of the biggest divas in television history. Unfortunately for her Mallrats love interest, who was played by Jason Lee, she seemed to be just as problematic while working in the movies.
Are you kidding me? I've never met a person who lives in as much fear of his mother as you do.
Jason Lee apparently found Shannon very rude and difficult to work with, and he claims that she was heavily spoiled throughout the production.
His comments are reminiscent of those of Jason Priestley and Alyssa Milano, both of whom openly acknowledged Shannon's alleged belligerent personality and work ethic.
Brody, what kills me about you is your inability to function on the same plane of existence as the rest of us. Piss off.
Number 16, Sybil Shepherd and Bruce Willis, Moonlighting.
So, what brings you to this neck of the woods?
Well, I guess I just wanted to see how you were doing.
Sybil Shepherd is not shy about expressing her frustration with Bruce Willis. In 2005, she admitted to Entertainment Weekly that the two, quote, hated each other. Their co-star, Curtis Armstrong, says as much in his book Revenge of the Nerd.
I can't believe you're gonna sit there and let me go through this by myself.
He tells a few interesting stories, like the time Sybil grew so frustrated that she threw a suitcase at the wall. There are a few theories as to why they didn't get along.
I hate you, David Addison.
I know. I hate you too, Matty Hayes.
Curtis says that Sybil was called, quote, a bitch by the male-dominated crew. Another co-star called Bruce, quote, an asshole. Curtis also says that Bruce told him about a, quote, ill-conceived thing between him and Sybil, which led to their hostility. Whatever the case, it's safe to say that they did not love each other.
You're back!
You're right.
You're scum!
Number 15, Pierce Brosnan and Terry Hatcher, Tomorrow Never Dies.
Tell me, James, do you still sleep with a gun under your pillow?
In the franchise's 18th installment, Pierce Brosnan as Bond tries to stop a media mogul from starting World War III. Behind the scenes, the media reported that Brosnan was constantly furious with co-star Terry Hatcher, as she kept coming late to work in the morning. As it turns out, Hatcher was pregnant at the time of filming and was experiencing morning sickness. Brosnan later admitted to having said some things he shouldn't have, and has since apologized to Hatcher, as he was not aware of her situation.
Do you know I used to look in the papers every day for your obituary?
Well, I'm sorry I keep disappointing you.
He also told the press that everything had been blown out of proportion, and that supposed feuding wasn't as big as everyone had made it out to be. Regardless, it had still been a big deal at the time.
Did I get too close for comfort?
Number 14, Anthony Hopkins and Shirley MacLaine, A Change of Seasons.
Her name is Lindsay Rutledge.
She has a first name like a last name.
This comedy about a married, middle-aged couple in which each member begins an affair with younger people stars Anthony Hopkins and Shirley MacLaine as the hitched pair in question. While they may be married in the film, Hopkins despised working with MacLaine in reality, and reportedly called her, quote, the most obnoxious actress he'd ever worked with.
So you're not going to take me?
I didn't say that, did I?
Oh, you don't have to, because it's showing all over your face.
The film itself was not critically well received, as demonstrated by its 3 Razzie Award nominations. However, MacLaine's lively performance at least helped make the duo's relationship seem realistic on screen.
Oh, I hadn't noticed.
Well, I did.
Number 13, Selma Blair and Charlie Sheen, Anger Management. Whatever you do, do not tell Charlie Sheen that he has a poor work ethic.
How was your day, Doctor?
It's about to get much better. Whatever you call a person with a master's degree.
While filming Anger Management, Selma Blair allegedly complained about Charlie's lack of work ethic as she thought he took too long to learn his lines. Word got back to Charlie, and according to an insider, he, quote, flew off the handle.
You completely mental?
Creating, quote, an awkward and toxic situation. Sheen retaliated by firing Blair via a nasty text message in which he allegedly called her the C word. However, Sheen says that they were planning on writing Blair's character off anyway to make the show and Charlie's character more interesting.
I'm having problems with my best friend.
Charlie?
Not you. I got a lot more friends than you.
Regardless, Selma lawyered up and demanded $1.2 million in lost wages. Number 12, Patrick Swayze and Jennifer Grey, Dirty Dancing.
I knew it would work out. I knew they'd have to apologize.
I'm out, baby.
This pair did not have the time of their lives on set. See what we did there? This romantic drama features Jennifer Grey and Patrick Swayze as a student and resort dance instructor who fall in love during her summer vacation. While they may be almost too hot to handle on camera, Swayze found Grey incredibly difficult as a co-lead in real life, calling her too silly and immature to work with.
Most of all, I'm scared of walking out of this room and never feeling the rest of my whole life the way I feel when I'm with you.
The pair also supposedly had trouble working together on the set of Red Dawn 3 years earlier. They must have since mended fences though, as Grey was clearly upset about Swayze's death in 2009.
Nobody puts baby in a corner.
Number 11, Leonardo DiCaprio and Claire Danes, Romeo and Juliet.
I profane with my unworthiest hand this holy shrine, the gentle sin is this.
Romeo and Juliet are literature's most iconic lovers, so it's very ironic that the two leads playing them did not get along.
In this 1996 modern adaptation of the famous Shakespeare play, Romeo and Juliet vie for each other, despite their respective families' constant fighting. However, in real life, Danes reported that DiCaprio was a nuisance on set, acting very immature due to his pranks on crew members and general goofball attitude.
I defy you, stars!
DiCaprio in turn called Danes stuck-up and too serious. While the characters may be star-crossed lovers, the actors couldn't have been more mismatched.
Romeo. Oh, Romeo. Wherefore art thou Romeo?
Number 10, Sophia Bush and Chad Michael Murray, One Tree Hill.
The difference is I love you, Brooke.
Things were quite sweet for a while there. Sophia and Chad grew close throughout their time on One Tree Hill and even married in April 2005, right before the conclusion of the second season. However, they were separated the following September and later divorced. According to a friend of Sophia, Chad didn't share Sophia's enthusiasm for the sanctity of marriage.
I wanted you to fight for me. I wanted you to say there is no one else that you could ever be with and that you'd rather be alone than without me.
Sophia later told Andy Cohen that she never wanted to marry Chad, whose rep clapped back by saying that wasn't true, and that Chad, quote, doesn't feel the need to engage in this type of behavior.
Yeah.
Then you get married.
Oh, yeah.
And you got married after how long?
I don't even know.
Right.
And it was not a thing I actually really wanted to do.
Ouch. It sounds like there's still some bad blood between the two. Number 9, Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon, Four Christmases.
Daphne, if I could interject for
Save it, Kent. I'm not looking for a BFF.
Daphne, please.
This movie stars Vince Vaughn and Reese Witherspoon as a loving couple who hate and actively avoid their families on Christmas. So maybe it's actually appropriate that the actors reportedly hated each other during filming. Their personalities reportedly clashed on set, with Witherspoon wishing to stick to the script so that she could nail a scene, while Vaughn wanted to ad-lib and work with a more easygoing approach.
By the way, this is exactly what I was afraid would happen if we came here.
While both certainly talented in their own way, their chemistry on set seemed to be the antithesis of holly jolly.
I really don't want to get into this.
Number 8, Marilyn Monroe and Laurence Olivier, The Prince and the Showgirl.
Cheerio.
Cheerio.
This romantic comedy about a showgirl who gets involved in political intrigue caused co-stars Monroe and Olivier to despise each other by the film's end. Olivier also acted as director, and he supposedly became enraged at Monroe due to many factors, including her constant tardiness, her unpredictable acting, and her constant consulting of her acting coach.
The little bird, so anxious to return to her nest.
Well, it is my exit, I guess.
The final nail in the coffin was when Olivier told her to try and be sexy. This would not be the last time Monroe allegedly caused problems, as Tony Curtis apparently became frustrated with her 2 years later, filming Some Like It Hot.
Where did you learn to kiss like that?
Number 7, Stana Katic and Nathan Fillion, Castle.
Becca, what do you want?
You.
When it comes to toxic working relationships, few are as hostile as Stana Katic and Nathan Fillion's. An anonymous source told us, not us, Us Weekly, that Stana and Nathan, quote, completely despise each other and refuse to speak when the cameras aren't rolling. In fact, things got so bad between them that they were forced into couples counseling by the producers.
I almost died. And all I could think about was you. I just want you.
A second insider told us that Nathan wasn't well liked by the cast and crew, and that his nastiness caused Stana to cry in her dressing room. The show was canceled in 2016, and while it's terrible that all those people lost their jobs, it was probably for the best in this case.
This is, without a doubt, the greatest birthday gift of my life!
Number 6, William Baldwin and Sharon Stone, Sliver.
You think I'm too young for you, don't you?
This thriller stars William Baldwin and Sharon Stone as lovers in the middle of strange occurrences in a high-rise apartment building. Throughout filming, it was said that Stone would emasculate Baldwin, which he understandably did not appreciate. During one kissing scene, Stone supposedly bit Baldwin's tongue so hard that he couldn't talk for a few days afterwards.
It's like playing God.
Things became so bad that they soon requested that they shoot their scenes separately, as they were obviously not getting along. Stone even went on to say that she would have preferred filming with Baldwin's older brother Alec in his place.
Are we playing poker now?
We're about to start.
Number 5. Nick Nolte and Julia Roberts. I Love Trouble.
What is that?
What is what? This romantic comedy stars Nick Nolte and Julia Roberts as rival reporters who fall in love while uncovering an altered milk conspiracy. Roberts has called Nolte, quote, the worst actor she's ever worked with, as well as completely disgusting. Nolte did not take kindly to Roberts' disdain, and shot back that she's not a nice person.
You don't have to say that just to make me feel better.
I'm not saying it to make you feel better. I'm saying it to make me feel better.
Things were so bad that it was reported that they acted more with stand-ins than they did with each other. Their relationship has seemingly not progressed since, as they still appear to hold animosity towards each other in the 21st century.
I suggest we get out of here as fast as we can.
Why?
Women's intuition.
Number 4. Gillian Anderson and David Duchovny. The X-Files.
What am I coming to see?
I'm not going to tell you. I want you to decide for yourself.
David and Gillian's hostile working relationship has been well documented. Their disagreements have been known since at least 1996, when Chris Nixon's book told of the fine line between the actors' happiness and irritability towards each other.
It just means that proving to the world the existence of alien life is not my last dying wish.
How about Santa Claus or the Easter Bunny?
Other reports subsequently came out over the years, many of which recounted a strained working and personal relationship. David also told Metro that they often, quote, couldn't stand the sight of each other, and Gillian told The Guardian that she and David went through periods of not speaking to each other. Reports of a full-on vitriolic hatred may be exaggerated, but there's no denying that the actors had a tense and troublesome relationship.
There was a lot of camaraderie there, it seemed like. Was it always like that?
No.
No.
Number 3. Richard Gere and Deborah Winger. An Officer and a Gentleman.
You know, Zach, it wouldn't kill you to open up to me a little bit.
This romantic drama tells the story of a Navy aviation officer candidate, played by Richard Gere, who comes into conflict with his drill instructor. During filming of the famous love story, Gere and Deborah Winger definitely were not what you would call good friends, with Winger referring to Gere as a brick wall when trying to converse or interact with him.
You know, man, you ain't nothing special. You got no manners.
His stoic personality further aggravated Winger, and the two spent no time together off camera, with reports that they distanced themselves as far away from each other as possible in order to give each other space.
I know who you are and what you want.
And what do you want?
I want to have a good time until you have to leave.
Number 2. Ryan Gosling and Rachel McAdams. The Notebook.
Say I'm a bird.
No.
This romantic drama about two lovers who are kept from each other because of their social standings is regarded as one of the seminal love stories of our generation, so it's disappointing to hear that the star-crossed lovers didn't actually get along on set. Director Nick Cassavetes reported that Gosling tried to have McAdams replaced due to his strong negative feelings for her. This led to a therapy session that saw the co-stars having it out with each other through screaming and yelling.
Why didn't you write me? Why?
Perhaps this very intense dislike for each other is what helped make the on-screen couple's passion translate so well to the big screen. Whatever the case may be, it seemed they got over their differences, albeit temporarily, as the two actors actually went on to date for a bit after the movie had been completed.
Don't touch me! I hate you! I hate you!
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Vivian Vance and William Frawley. I Love Lucy.
Hey, Rick, does it have to look cute? But what are you wearing that bustle for, honey? You don't need it.
These two should have received all the acting awards, because they definitely deserved them. It all started when William overheard Vivian complaining about his age, as he was 22 years older than she was. William in turn wished that Vivian would return to her home state of Kansas, and Vivian proceeded to call him names like, quote, that stubborn-headed little Irishman. It's also important to note that William had alcohol use disorder and a reputation for being crabby and ill-tempered.
Fred?
Now, honey bunch, I'm not going to tell him your exact age, Let's just say it's somewhere between the Speedy Cleaners and Goldblatt's Delicatessen.
The two later declined a lucrative spin-off opportunity as they didn't want to work with each other again. And according to Hollywood legend, Vivian jokingly ordered champagne when she heard about William's death. Now, that's true hatred right there.
Give him back those tickets.
Are you crazy? They cost $6.60 apiece.
I don't care if they cost $660. We're not going.
Well, I am.
Well, take somebody else.
Hey, there's an idea.
Which couple were you surprised to see on this list? Let us know in the comments.
I hate you, David Addison.
I know.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.